Hello everyone, this is Arespi and welcome to my devlog. The purpose of this devlog series is to document my progress in developing a game and to obligate myself to actually finish one. I have been trying to create games ever since 2012 but always ended up never actually finishing any of it. This time, I will finish one. So, what game am I making? This April of 2020, the Ludum Dare 46 Game Jam was held with the theme of Keep It Alive. I intended to join but I found out about it a day later from the time it started. Still, I tried to come up with an idea for the game that I wanted to make, but it took me a whole day to come up with a concept. I ran out of time to develop the game, but I actually liked the concept that I came up with. So, I intended to create it either way. What is the concept that I came up with? I came up with a concept for a survival game. Usually in a survival game, humans are trying to survive from different creatures that kill or harm them. The concept I came up with is the complete opposite of that. My concept is that the player would play as a parasite that takes humans as hosts. When he infested the body of a human being, it could take complete control of it, but if the human host dies, the parasite dies as well. So, in order for the parasite to survive, it needs to keep on transferring to another host. But it could not keep on doing that because transferring to another host would kill its previous host. To keep the parasite alive, the player needs to take care of a group of humans that are inhabiting an isolated island. The player needs to make sure that the next generation of inhabitants would be enough to guarantee it a future host and a host after that. That is the main concept of the game. The game is currently named Parasite's Island, but if ever I would come up with a better name, I would like to change this. I have been working on it for only a few weeks, so there's not much to show. But here is the progress that I have made. For the development of the game, I mainly used two softwares. Unity as the game engine with MonoDevelop as its code editor, and Arespi for the sprites of the game. In the first week of development, I mainly jumped between these two softwares, creating sprites, coding scripts, and implementing the concepts that I talked about a while ago. The first thing I did is to implement the host transfer mechanics. The player, or the infected inhabitant, is controlled by pressing the arrow keys and pressing the space bar to infect the inhabitant that is near the player. The next thing I worked on is the family system. The family system I implemented basically determines the number of families that live on the island. Then, it selects a random point in the map that becomes the home of that family. The game would then generate the number of family members the family have and spawn them near their home. I later made a script that randomly generates a name of the inhabitants to identify them from others. I also implemented at this time the family role. There are three family roles that I implemented: breadwinner, the household manager, and the kid. The breadwinner is the family member that works and goes out of the house more. The household manager is the one responsible to take care of the house and cook the food of the family. Lastly, the kid is the family member that is below the age of 18 and mostly plays. After turning 18, the kid either becomes a breadwinner or a house manager. These names are not final, but these are the names that I used for now. During this time, I felt that I did not like the controls. Instead, I felt that I should try a point-and-click approach. What I have in mind is that the player is controlled by pressing the left mouse button. When the player pressed, the infected inhabitant goes to that particular area. And by pressing the right mouse button, the player would infect another inhabitant. The mouse would also be responsible for the camera movement. When the mouse cursor gets near the border of the screen, the camera would move to that direction. So, in the second week of development, I temporarily scrapped the things I implemented, which would later be re-implemented. The implementations of the controls that I have in mind requires me to create a grid system to apply a pathfinding algorithm. Now it works, and is the latest change I did to the game. This week I wanted to re-implement the host transfer mechanics and do a little more. But that is what I have done so far. If ever you saw that I am doing a bad practice during the development, or you have some feedback regarding anything about the game, please comment it down so that I would know. I wanted to learn as much as possible from this experience, so your comment would be greatly appreciated. The Game Jolt page of the game would be in the description if you want to follow the development of the game outside of this devlog series. I usually post a text form of the devlog updates there daily. Alright, I hope that you liked this video and that you would follow the development of this game. That is all for this video. Thanks for watching. Take care.